It's Wednesday the 9th of June. We should be in Portugal right now. If you don't follow me on Instagram, let me tell you a little bit about the Portugal saga, which was that we were all ready to go to Portugal, and then 4 days before, oh, there's someone walking behind the car, 4 days before the government announced that it was moving to the amber list, literally the day before we were travelling. We went back and forth over whether we were going to go or not, and eventually decided that we weren't going to go. It was partly like the cost of testing. We were spending like £1,000 in testing, and it was also partly just like the quarantine when we get back. We've obviously got Grace, and it was just going to be a bit of a nightmare trying to keep her at home for 10 days, so the best part of like 2 working weeks, and we both work, so it was just a bit of a nightmare, and we decided that we weren't going to go. So we're very disappointed not to be on a summer holiday, but instead for this week we have decided to just take some trips in the southeast and around London where we live, and do some bits that we've been wanting to tick off the UK bucket list that we haven't done yet. So today is the first day of that. Well, we went out for lunch yesterday when we were off, but this is the first proper day out today, and we're going to London Zoo. We're going to drive up there. We quite often drive to London. We have an electric car anyway, so we don't have to pay the congestion charge, and the parking at the zoo is like £14.50 for the day, and obviously like we don't pay for petrol, we just pay a little bit of electric cost on our bill, but nothing in the scheme of like having to fill up a tank for a car. So it ends up being a lot cheaper for us to drive than it is to get the train, and it also means that obviously we're in the comfort of our own car, and we've got all of Grace's stuff and her prams and everything in the car. So we're going to drive up to London in a little while. I'm just at our local like country club, I guess, which is where Grace does her swimming lessons, and I normally take her, it's a Wednesday, so it's my day off. I normally take her on a Wednesday morning, but obviously Steve is off and he hasn't taken her swimming, so he wanted that experience of taking her swimming, and I'm happy with that because I'm ready to go out now, so I don't want to have to do the whole shower and get ready thing like while I've got Grace. So he's in there. I've just been up to the Costa nearby to get him a little drink for when he comes out, and then we're going to head off to London Zoo. So I'll take you with us and show you a bit of London Zoo. Have like asked around like my girlfriends and like seen what the best zoo is in like the southeast, and they said either London Zoo or Colchester Zoo, and we decided to go to London because it's right on Regent's Park, so we can have a walk around the park afterwards, maybe even walk down and have a look at the shops if Grace gets a bit bored of the animals, and it will hopefully be a really nice day out, so we'll take you with us. Right, we're done now at the zoo. We think we're zooed out, don't we?
Little.
We're going to have a walk down through Regent's Park and into what, Oxford Circus?
Yeah.
I want to take Grace to the big Disney store mainly, but she's fallen asleep in the pram, so whether she wakes up or not is to be seen. It was good. I really enjoyed the zoo. Penguins were good, monkeys were good, didn't see any lions and saw one tiger from a distance. So that would have been nice if we saw them a bit closer, but it was still a really nice day. The giraffes were good as well, weren't they?
Giraffes were good, yeah.
What was your favourite bit?
My favourite bit was definitely the monkeys, because you see them from kind of just a few feet
like
away.
Go through this like door and like plastic flappy stuff, and then you're literally there with them. There's nothing between you and them, so we had to leave Grace's pram behind, and then yeah, you were like right in there in the thick of it, so that was really good fun. And yeah, now we're going to walk down into town, see if we can have a mooch around the shops before they all shut. What's your thoughts on this, by the way? We walked past the man and we were eavesdropping, weren't we?
Yeah.
And he was saying, oh, this girl that I'm seeing takes everything too literally. Like, if I say I'm going to see her on Wednesday at the park, she literally thinks I'm going to see her on Wednesday at the park. Now, I think that's quite reasonable. Steve says that that's not reasonable.
I don't think I said it's not reasonable. I think I said maybe she needs to take it with a pinch of salt and check in on Tuesday.
It's a fucking joke. Said you're going to see her on Wednesday, mate. Go and see her. We've got Grace's little book in the zoo that attaches to the pram. She can't drop it. Just made Steve walk up. We've walked to the bottom of Regent's Park because we walked down to Oxford Street to go into the Disney store, and we also nipped into John Lewis just so we could change Grace because we hadn't found some. Yes, we're looking for Dada, aren't we? Because that was the first change in facilities that we found today. We didn't look in the zoo, to be fair. I'm sure there were, but obviously when you're out and about, John Lewis always saves the day. And we walked back to Regent's Park, and it's about the same distance again, but I'm just dead on my feet. And Steve offered to walk up and grab the car and then drive it down and meet us at the bottom of Regent's Park. So we just sat and reading our little books that we bought today, and we've been playing with the bubble machine that we got in the Disney store, and it's just been a really nice day start to finish. But it's about 4 o'clock now, so we need to think about hitting the road and getting Grace home to start her dinner before she goes into full meltdown mode. But she's been such a good girl today, haven't you? Also, Steve, while we were out walking down Oxford Street, spotted Amber Turner and Dan Edgar, and he was like, look over my left shoulder, and I was like, oh, so starstruck by someone that was on Towie. But I love Amber Turner's style. Don't know a lot about her anymore, to be fair. I haven't watched Towie in years, but I appreciate a well-dressed woman. And I was very taken aback and very starstruck for at least 5 minutes. So that was a highlight of the day, a celeb sighting of the day, if you will. Honestly, can't fault the bloke. First, he goes and gets the car for me so that I don't have to walk up to the car from the bottom of Regent's Park. And now he's just stopped to get me sushi. I am a lucky lady. Have you had a nice day? Yeah? I think she might fall asleep on the way home now. Yeah? So we're back on the road this morning. I didn't sign off from yesterday, but we had a bit of a disaster on the way home whereby we made a schoolboy parenting error of forgetting to pack enough snacks in the car. So when we hit a bit of traffic on the way home and weren't home as quickly as we expected, like Grace was already starving for her dinner, but there was nothing that we could do because we didn't have anything in the car. I did say to Steve, shall we stop? And he was like, we're just prolonging the inevitable, let's just get home. But it did take quite a while, so by the time we got home she was screaming and hungry, and we just put her to bed, didn't we? And then admitted defeat and was like, right, that's enough for one day, and just went straight to bed ourselves. But we're back up this morning and we're off to Legoland had another small disaster this morning, which was that we forgot to charge the car last night, so we've had to stop and do that.
Linked to the first disaster because we went straight
to bed, and we were so like stressed by the screaming child for 40 minutes incident that we forgot to plug the car in. So then, yeah, we forgot to plug the car in and had to go to a supercharger this morning to do it. But we are on the road now. We're going to get there at about 10 past 11, so it's not even too bad. I think it only opens at 10. And then, yeah, we will show you a bit of what we get up to at Legoland. Hiya, so we're back now. We've been back a little while and we've done Grace's dinner, and now we're going to bath her and put her to bed. But I've had quite a few questions about Legoland specifically and whether I'd recommend it for like young children, preschoolers and stuff. So we bought a adult and preschooler ticket, which is £25. So we just bought 2 of those and we just went with Grace. So it was about £50 for the day. And to be fair, if you're like in the area and you want to go, it was pretty good. Like, I would say there is enough for a like toddler to do. Grace is just over the age of 1. And we were there about 4 hours, and that was probably plenty when you consider how young she is. And we stopped for lunch in that time as well, and then we went on a couple of rides, and she also played in the Splash Safari, which is like their little water bit, but we did that right at the end of the day just before we came back. So there was plenty to do and lots of like nice little things for the kids. Our highlight for us was the deep sea adventure, or deep sea diver adventure, I can't remember, but it's basically like a little submarine, and you can see like all the like aquarium animals like really up close, and that was really good fun, and Grace loved that one. I wouldn't potentially go specifically out my way if I was a real thrill seeker and I wanted to go on lots of things, because a lot of the rides are have like a height restriction, which is 0.9 meters. So probably a slightly older child who would meet that requirement. would be able to do a lot more stuff than Grace could do, but just for, you know, 25 quid each as a day out, it was a really nice day and we thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. It was a lot busier than we expected it to be, also given the fact that we went to the zoo yesterday and that was like dead, like there was no one there at all. So it was a lot busier at Legoland than it was at the zoo, and it was on like a Thursday in term time, so we weren't quite expecting that. So I'm really out of breath because I'm pregnant and setting in already. But it was a really nice day and we had such a great time. So what I'll do is I'll end the vlog here, and yeah, I'll let you catch up about anything else Legoland related on my Instagram. But I hope that you enjoyed this, and thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye!